We are here today in the stillness of this beautiful forest to talk about shapes and balance, the left and right sides of the brain, DNA, the masculine and feminine energies, and integration. Lots of big topics, but they're very important right now in this world of duality, where it seems like people are losing best friends and being separated from family members because the opinions and the beliefs are so diverse and so opposite. So here's a way for us to connect that, to integrate. And so we will be exploring shapes. Let's see if I can turn this around and figure out how to do this. Oops, where is that? I can't find the turnaround place. Well, interesting. Maybe you can't turn it around in the middle of a video? All right, we'll just do it with my body. Shapes are beautiful. Totally and completely beautiful. And meditating on a shape takes you into the right side of your brain. It's a place of peace and tranquility. So let's move over to some of these shapes. I got stuck. All right, where are we? These are grapevines. And you can follow the line of the grapevine with your eye and your mind. This one, I don't know, could look like a butterfly, a bow. Those are the lines. And when you say butterfly and bow, you are connecting with the left side of your brain, where there is vocabulary and math, a sense of time. It's where your story is. But if you look in between the lines of those grapevines, what do you see? There are shapes. Now, if you go naming all those shapes, like football and whatever, you're going to still be in the left side of your brain. But if you start going around the edges of each of those shapes with your mind, with your finger, or with a pencil on paper where you're not looking at the paper at all, you're just letting the pencil follow what your eyes do. While doing that, you will go into the right side of your brain, where there's no sense of time and there's a deep sense of peace. There's lots of shapes here. That are formed by the linear things up in the trees. You can see them, lots and lots of them. I can't even make it go closer. Oh well. So doing this exercise either with your eyes or your finger or a pencil on paper, actually a pen, a gel pen on paper is really good. because you get a nice, sharp image when you're done. It sometimes looks amazingly beautiful. So when you're using a gel pen on paper, you can pick one small object, like a leaf. There's a leaf. And just go around all of the different edges very, very slowly, as if you were a snail crawling around the edge. And as you do this, just focus on the shape. Don't look at the paper. You can also use your hand. You can go around all of the edges of the finger shapes. You can do all of the lines inside your palm, all of the little wrinkles. Just do it very slowly. It's a meditation. Now, if you're in art class, they call it blind contour drawing. But we're not doing this because of an art class. We're doing this to access that sense of peace and timelessness that artists feel when they are making art. For the longest time, I did artworks that were very, very complicated. I would draw some grasses, for example, and then when the grasses crossed, there'd be a little triangle, and then I would divide that triangle up into more little spaces. And then when the triangle was next to another triangle, I had to make sure that the spaces made sense for the grass to follow from one to the next. So I was drawing grass behind the front grass, and then behind that grass, and behind that grass. It was like infinity. And to me, it was kind of like a game. It made my artworks very, very complicated, and people would say to me, "What patience you have." Well, every time that was said, I didn't quite understand what they meant. Because to me, it wasn't patience. Because patience is something you have to try to do. You have to work at it. You have to think, oh, this isn't something I want to do, but I'm going to have patience, and you take a deep breath. So I found out years later, actually, when I was at Ursuline, maybe studying different things about art therapy and counseling, or maybe it was some of the things I read, I'm not sure, but I found out that what I was doing was meditation. Creating all those shapes was bringing me into the right side of the brain. Now, another thing that happened way before Ursuline, back when I was in college and afterwards, I would be asked to do demonstrations on art and painting. And when I was first doing that, I found that I could feel my brain switching back and forth because the verbal and the spatial are in different parts of the brain. So as I was drawing or painting, I would feel it go back and forth. I would draw a little bit and talk a little bit, and it was a fast switch, but I could see that there was a hesitation, like a flipping back and forth. And after years of doing this, drawing on the right side of the brain, there's no flipping anymore. It's integrated. The right and left sides of my brain have integrated. And that is an important thing for us to do right now in this world of duality, is integration. When we integrate the left and right sides of the brain, we're less likely to be triggered by something or to speak out in